feel. Chris showed me how to clear this disc, so now it's cleared. We can start all over again.
Oh, darn it.
I forgot my glasses
Where are they at?
on my desk.
I'll get it. Because I'm so spry.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, hey, I'm here and I will get together. Perfect, thank you.
I
I need to
appreciate
remind you,
that.
you need to bow.
Get out of here.
Sorry.
Don't get in line on my
It's in
shoe.
between a bow and a curtsy. It's a special skill.
Oh, God, the camera doesn't want to work. I got it.
Send it back to your desk.
We've still got a couple minutes.
Yeah. There's a phone call coming in.
I thought, oh, they're not, here we go.
Oh, okay.
There we go, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
You bet.
I'm still connected.
My name's Emily Post. I work with Catalyst. I'm just here to listen to take away any ways we can improve on
Okay.
communication and how we can help.
Okay, what was the last name, please?
Post, P-O-S-T.
Okay, thank you.
That's easy.
Yeah, thank you.
Everyone is paying their taxes today?
No, there's a big court case.
Yeah, those things are jury questionnaires.
I told Ben, I said, Ben, I heard you're losing the case. I said, what a disgrace for the county. That's just a little county attorney humor.
Not that he's the county attorney.
A little bantering between elected officials.
Right.
All right, we got another. So,
Hi,
could you give your name and spell your last name for Bonnie? She's taking notes. I can't read it.
yeah. Corey, K-O-R-I, and then Martinson, M-A-R-T-I-N-S-O-N.
All right, appreciate it. And then there's a Corey Watkinson. Who else joined us?
Maria.
Maria?
Hi, my name's Maria. My last name is Rostad, R-O-S-T-A-D.
Right. Do we got everybody?
Screen's
Not
fine.
quite yet.
Okay.
So, have you met Kelly? This is Kelly Burke. She's our community helper. This is Justina Marshall. She's our new CAS, I guess.
Just the cash.
Cash.
What's that mean?
County accounting specialist.
Okay.
Who's accounting?
Accounting.
Anything to do with money.
So she pays me?
No, or sees that you don't get paid.
Oh.
Yeah, she's your
It's a lot
budget.
of power.
Budget. Budget.
And
She
we're
has the
waiting.
power to deny funding.
Uh-oh.
And when you say money, her eyes just go.
Yeah. Did you go to Germany? Was it?
Yeah, it was a little expensive, but a lot of food. And
I'm ready for gas.
It was good.
Ready for
It was
gas.
worth it.
Me too.
I mean, Mike always gets one.
Yeah.
Whether he needs it or not. I just thought it's because I was so dull.
Texas Roadhouse?
No,
Things happen.
It doesn't even matter. I need one, I take it.
That's right.
No, you get all the food, like the meat's shaken, frozen, and then you have the mushrooms, corn,
I'm
put it
gonna
in a bowl,
print
and all
this.
these knives.
This,
Take
proposal?
it up in there.
Yeah, I don't know if I printed it, I never printed it.
Wow.
Maybe there is an option to print something over there. Just so I have it.
This is
Copy
good,
of
but
it.
it was all mean and
Here's your stinking proposal,
The egg roll was,
but it's
very,
not in
like,
color
it's,
because
like,
you didn't tell
heavy,
it to.
for sure.
But
That's
that's
what I
good.
think was this weekend.
They were super crunchy on the outside.
Just need figures.
But I wish we had like chicken. I mean, they did, but it was like little pieces.
Sausage and shrimp and
Looks like we have another one join Cindy.
Christy May.
Chrissy.
Christine.
Christy. Christy
Christine
May.
Crispy.
May. M-A-Y?
Hi.
Howdy.
I was on the wrong, well, I was on Microsoft Teams with Olivia, so she's coming too.
Okay.
And we're gonna have a big old party.
Yeah, I hope I can keep track of everything. I might have to just wait until it's,
You have to, because you're doing the transcript.
yeah. No. I might just do the gist of it and leave. It's minutes are what is being talked about,
It's
not
a
what is
summary.
being said.
It's a summary, that's true, I used to
They're
do
not
minutes.
detailed, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, don't sign me up.
No.
But he's like, I'm out of here.
Hey, there's an idea.
Hey, I'm off every other Friday in the summertime and it's
Yeah, me
starting.
too. Yeah, me.
It's starting next week, by the way.
Okay, well,
My
maybe they're.
camera off.
Yes,
Pardon?
It is?
yes.
Oh,
There you are.
I think it was going the other direction. Sorry about that, guys. Hi. Happy Friday.
All right, good to see you.
Who's that?
Christy May.
Do we got everyone we need, or we still got couple more?
Olivia.
Don't know.
Didn't she say there was an
We still
Olivia?
need Amber and Olivia.
Okay,
Oh, Amber's gonna be here too?
Amber Overstreet, not Amber Martinson.
Amber.
Okay.
then you holler when you want us to start.
I don't like something like that.
It's stinking hot.
It is. You can come hang out with me.
It's
Cool.
I did.
Okay, I gotta work here.
For Zoom people, so when we get on Microsoft Teams, I like it, but we're all like a little disoriented. Sorry.
Yeah, it took me a minute.
Microphone's in a different place, and yeah.
100%.
So we got another one, is it
Amber.
Amber?
Overstreet.
Overstreet, okay.
The other Amber.
The other
that I like
Amber.
to be called.
Now a lot of schools.
So we spent all this money on setting this stuff up, and we got a screen that's too small for us to see.
Get everybody on it.
Yeah, so we've got a big screen sitting down in the hall downstairs that we just can't seem to get installed.
It has to be put in the
Right.
policy.
I'm complaining.
What else?
That's what she said.
All this technology stuff can be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it can be.
You just get it going and then it changes.
Yeah.
Do you turn that thing up a little bit? Did somebody do that?
What the,
Turn up the fan? No, it's great. No, I can feel it.
no, we can slow it down.
No. I don't know how y'all wear long sleeve shirts.
No, that's just a habit. I've got, so I'm so muscular that I don't wanna,
Intimidating.
yeah, it can be
I know
very
the feeling.
intimidating.
Make women smooth or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
sometimes it's a problem, and it's just best not to wear.
That's what I do.
It's the commentary people watch these for.
Oh, yeah.
It's the commentary.
Well,
Can we just start?
Yeah, let's just start. I'll
Yeah.
make an opening statement. This was meant to be a real simple meeting. It's just a communication, but it's, Kelly gets the opportunity to say what's going on in her world and what support she's looking for, and you guys get the opportunity to say what's in your world and things that maybe you need Kelly to know. So, does that sound all right to you guys?
Yeah.
And then, so Kelly, I'll let you start.
Christy's been great this last week, and so has Amber Overstreet. She's been there quite a bit, which is wonderful. She's helped out last week a lot. It seems Christy's gonna come up and visit me soon
I'd love to.
and see the finished product. I guess I just got frustrated with not accurate training, and then also being swapped to one person to the next, where it's like I can never get an answer from the person I'm told to go to, but then someone swaps me over here and I can never get an accurate answer, I guess.
So is that still happening?
Christy was awesome last week, so she helped out a lot. Especially with finding the right.
You had a big week. You had some pretty intense stuff last week, didn't you?
Yeah, he's doing really good, which is awesome.
Yeah, you handled it well. Are you using or do you know where to find the on-call schedule?
Yeah, Olivia just put it on my calendar, so I did not have it.
Okay. Okay. I think that will make a big difference, Kelly, to know who you're supposed to call, but if you call the on-call person and you're not, on-call is like for urgent, we're not like crisis, obviously, but like if you don't hear back from someone in an hour, then let me know. Okay. You can text me.
Well, and right now we have 3 on-call people, and that, I think, streamlines it quite a bit. I don't know that that's gonna get expanded in the future, but hopefully we can get where we're a little, I think, easier, a little more, comfortable communicating easily, I guess is what I mean.
Yeah. My other frustration is, it was just in my head. Like if something's going wrong, like with my notes, someone says something but has another person try to tell me, and it's just like if you know something's going on with what's going on, and like if I'm not doing something correctly, I would like proper communication of that person coming to me and just saying, hey, this is what's going on, how can we, and then figuring out how we can fix it rather than going through a line of people.
Who talked to you about your notes?
Well, when Kevin was here, he kept telling me that someone was telling him that my notes weren't right and I need to put them here, I need to do that, and like, he didn't really.
You and I went over notes when I was there, and they still weren't being put in through an appointment. But last week, you asked me about that, and you did it perfect. You put them in as an appointment. And Olivia's not here, but that has to do with, just so everybody's on the same page, the way we put the note in. There's more than one way to put a note into Simple Practice. And the way we put it in is really important because it's how we track data. And tracking data is important because it's how we get funding, that's how we get county reports. We want our county reports to Muscle Shell County to be accurate. So if it's like Kelly, if it goes in as a chart note, then it might not get tracked. It's hard to go in and find who's going where. So that's the reason for that.
So when you put it in as a chart note, you get all these notifications saying you didn't do a diagnosis or something like that. How do we get rid of that?
Just ignore it. You don't have to do that. When you put an appointment in, it will not do that. You just put it as an appointment. You don't have to do all the assessments. You could just close out those notifications. This electronic health record is for like psychotherapy practices, it's for chiropractic practices and like physical therapy. And so there's other types of information that they're required to put in because they're licensed, but you are not required to put that in. So we're kind of modifying it for our own use because of its HIPAA ability. So you don't have to worry about those.
Okay. And
You did your note perfectly perfect. In my opinion, your note was great from last time. And I'm happy to review if you have a note, like a big thing like that. The other thing, Kelly, that you did really well is you documented right away, which is very important when there's a crisis type of or an intense situation.
Mhm.
And we get the documentation in right away because if there's ever any legal involvement down the road, then you could be questioned, or we could be questioned, you would be questioned probably on like, how could you really remember? Because you didn't document right away. So within 24 hours is kind of the rule of thumb for that, and you did beautiful. Thank you.
So what's the name of the software that she's inputting into?
It's
Simple
called Simple Practice.
Simple Practice. And you mentioned the note, I'm just kind of learning here. You're saying if she puts a note in as an appointment, that's the right way to do it? Is that what you did? Okay.
Yeah, she did. Because that's how we track. We track first our community health workers, and and this is how like you guys will be able to apply for funding as well. It's very important that we track all of her points of contact so that we can see how she's engaging with the community, who, where, all that, the demographic kind of stuff, not their names obviously, but we have a person who actually assimilates that data. And I don't know, you're gonna get your annual report, I believe, very soon, right, Corey? And all that data will be in there. So it's really important to get it in a way that we can track it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's it on my side for now.
Okay. How about on you guys' end? Any concerns, feedback? Direction?
Yeah.
Well, I think after the week that you guys had last week, I think we can see where we can improve some communication. I think communication was great last week. So much of this job and this work in general, there's a lot of little bits of training, but so much of the training is done on the job, and the more we can open up that communication, and now that I understand that you didn't have a way to see who was on call, so much of the training is on the job. So much of the stuff you can't necessarily prepare for. We can prepare a lot for it, but when it's really being in the present, in the moment, being able to have really comfortable access to us so that we can support you guys, so that we can make sure that everything's happening and have it be comfortable, that we don't necessarily know exactly what's gonna happen and the perfect training outcome be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
I know that when we talked last, when we started setting up these, and this would be a bi-weekly meeting, we'd have the same thing in a couple weeks, I think, is what we were thinking. And you guys were concerned about filling in, making sure that all the entries in Simple Practice, is that moving in the right direction?
Yeah, I think we have that in the right direction. I guess I have a couple of questions that I'm not clear on, like how it's working, and I have talked to Kelly about this a little bit, and I think Kevin's talked about it too, but how is it working with are we tracking points of contact when you're in the school, or is that just separate? Are you doing your internship in the school completely separate from your community health worker work?
I'm including it all together, but we only have right now one girl that was in the school. We have potentials, but we have parents that don't fill stuff out, and you constantly,
Sure.
Like, come on, let's fill it out so we can get going and, yeah. Parents are a pain in the butt.
Boy, are they. And that is something we've talked about in general. I think that's something we can talk more about in the CHW meeting on Monday. That you would think the forums are not a big deal, and you would think people could just do them because they can do it for everything else, like T-ball and whatever. But for whatever reason, when it comes to the forums with the mental health stuff, there's a lot of hand-holding, and I don't know what we need to do as far as training around that or normalizing that's always just a hassle. Have it, invite them in and be like, hey, come have some coffee and let's fill out these forms together. It consistently gets in the way across all the counties, and we're trying to figure out the best way to approach that. And I think one of the first ways that I'm noticing is just like, you know what, they're probably not going to do it on their own. And even though that kind of sounds ridiculous, it just seems to be true.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think trying to get them in might be a really good idea, but you also have the parents that have 15 children that
Right.
want to bring them all in. So that kind of makes
You
things.
do have popcorn. I've seen popcorn in your office.
I had popcorn for lunch.
Well, you're having an inviting space for meeting people where they're at.
Oh, I have
I think
Oreos
maybe-
now.
Oreos.
Maybe
Let's see, that's gonna.
Maybe one thing that we
Feeling
could talk about, maybe not today, but in the future, is how do we track the points of contact that you're having in the school? So if they're not like becoming a catalyst or a county CHW client, right? They're not filling out your county paper intake, right?
Mhm.
But you're still making contact with people in your community,
Mhm.
and you're having an impact. We want to track your impact in your community, not just who's doing an intake. Because even when I was there, remember that one lady came in
Mhm.
and she's like, oh, I'm not filling that out. This is the only time you're ever going to see me.
Mhm.
Which is fine. If she doesn't want to, that's okay. You know, she can decide that. But we also, that's still, you helped her.
So,
And so we want to be able to show that.
but how would you input that if, I mean, I don't have permission to put their information, especially with kids,
Right.
into simple practice, so how do we track that?
Go ahead, Kristen, sorry.
We can track that, and we'll talk about that. I need to talk to Olivia about that because she tracks it. Did Olivia come and I just can't see her? No. she
No, I don't
couldn't.
think she's
Okay.
on.
She's having trouble getting on.
Okay,
Really?
that's okay. There's other counties who do track that differently, and so Olivia can help you on how to do that, but probably we should talk about that because I'm sure, like when I look on your calendar, I know you're having more contacts than like the appointments. We really want to reflect that, your impact.
Oh yeah, at the school I met with certain kids every week, so yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And some of them, yeah, we're trying to get in, but those are the parents that.
Okay, well, I will follow up with you, okay? And let me talk to Olivia on how because she's the one that pulls that data, so I don't wanna tell you the wrong way to do it. I wanna make sure we're doing it in a way that she's gonna see it.
Mhm. Okay.
So I'll talk to her and I'll have her, reach out to you about that. Is that okay with you?
Yep.
That sound good? Okay. That's all I have. That was my only thing.
Anybody else have anything?
Cause that would have added a lot for this last 4 months if we did the point of contact at the school.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think there is a way to do that once you guys decide how you want to do it.
Yeah.
And get all those appointments in there, and then you see how much work you're doing and all the impacts you're making. It's really important to have that.
And that's kind of one of the areas where you wanted your involvement to be a little more intense was with the youth, so,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a serious thing we got with youth.
Oh, big time.
And I don't know what kind of practicality there is, especially when school's out and the kids are all home, but whatever degree you can do, like the paperwork on the phone with them, basically fill it out for them. and then get it to them to sign. That's a workaround.
Yeah, I actually thought about just telling one of the moms, just sign it and I'll fill the rest out for you. Like,
Yeah, normally you need to fill it in first so they can technically see, even though they're not gonna read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it might be, Kelly, that you make a client in Simple Practice that just says the school's name, and then you'll just put in those appointments for the school.
I think that's a good idea.
the other thing,
And then in your little note, you can just say, met with 5th grader, met with 6th grader, whatever, you know,
Okay.
but let me verify that with Olivia. That's what I'm thinking from.
Yeah, and community member for community member. I mean, in Simple Practice, before now they have appointments versus events, and they didn't used to, but I just had a client literally named appointment, so that I wouldn't forget to go to my own doctor's appointments, because it wasn't on my calendar that I looked at all the time. Recently, I've gotten to delete that client, but that's how, there's workarounds that we get everything documented, and yeah, it's just important that we get to see how hard you're working, because we know you are. You're out there talking to people all the time.
next week, Journey and his mom Kristen were in here with Jody not too long ago. They're getting that whole summer program started on Monday, and it's gonna start at 9:30. So I'll, not every day or whatever they do, but I'll probably go down there and play with the kids and hang out and get that trusting bond with them as well, so.
Do you have cards or anything like that? Cards or brochures?
I hand them out,
Good.
Yeah.
Figured, just wanted to make sure.
yeah.
Thinking of that, Justine, before I forget, you can get with Cheryl and you can get some business cards.
Oh.
Big one.
Okay, very good.
Not to derail the meeting, but
Yeah, I just got them after 15 years.
I had to walk down there and go get my own.
now the other thing we talked about that I thought was important is that this Simple Practice was really important, you guys, because of its legal, it makes sure you dot your i's and cross your t's so that your liability is protected.
Yeah.
Is that going okay too? Are we doing all right there? Very good.
Yes. Yeah, I believe, yes. As far as I'm concerned, I do read the notes, randomly read the notes of all of our community health workers. So I just check in there occasionally just to make sure it's being, it's trackable, and they don't have the same requirements as they don't have to do any fancy kind of note. They just have to document some things that Kelly's doing great with. Yeah. Or you
And I
can
think-
say that.
I think once Olivia gets with Kelly on how to put the students in there, that will help too, because that was part of that concern, is not having the people that she's doing at the school in there to be covered and covering Kelly and the county as well. So once all that gets put in there, then I think all the bases should be covered with it.
Yeah, because that reduces your liability,
Right.
right? If anything were to happen